everyone, welcome to a new episode of Brew with Memli. And as the weather is getting cold a little bit, we are going to introduce here our fall season coffee. We are going to drop two new coffee, one from Honduras and one from Panama. Our Honduras coffee is a Icatu and Catuai lot, washed very quickly with 18 hours in whole cherries, about 12 to 24 hours quick wash fermentation after depulping, and then dried from 18 to 25 days, depending on the weather condition. Only in the afternoon to avoid a very harsh sun in the morning. And then we have our very special Typica from Panama, from Marcus Duran at Finca Lorraine. Typica anaerobic slow dry. So it's really dry with the whole cherries in a dark room condition to really extract those beautiful plums and grapes we have in this coffee. I'm going to show you here how to highlight the best of each coffee. That's why I prepare two different brew settings. Our Honduras will be brewed on a V60 and our Panama Typica will be brewed on an Aurea. Let's start. We're using for both of those coffees a 1 to 15 ratio, using 15 grams of coffee and 225 grams of water. Now, there's two main differences. The first is that with my Honduras coffee has a lot of milk chocolatey notes with caramelized nuts, honey, and a little bit of apple. So to kind of balance that really thick, smooth experience, I'm going to use the conical shaped V60 to really highlight and create a more pleasant experience with nice apples here. So I'm going with my classic 4 pro structures using 60 grams, 50 and 255. For my Aurea, I'm also going to do the same 4 pro structure. Why? Because here we have a beautiful Typica ASD, lightly roasted, and I really want to emphasize those intense plums and grapes that makes this coffee a beautiful experience for fall. But it also has a very smooth finish that tastes like chocolate and hazelnut. So this is really to create the best experience for both those coffees. Here I want to emphasize more the texture of the coffee with the Aurea and that kind of fruitiness, sweetness coming from the ASD process. And on my V60 using my Honduras coffee, I will still get the chocolatier notes, of course, but I also want to enjoy a slight stone fruit or here's more apple fruitiness. So we are done here at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And for our Typica, we are done at 3 minutes and 2 seconds. One thing is that I ground this coffee a little bit finer for the Aurea and a little bit coarser for my V60. We are on my Deeding Sweet Lab 8.5 and 8, so significantly finer because it's more soluble and I really want to extract those nice sweetness here. Let's come back with some taste results. Very smooth, a lot of milk chocolate, honey, caramel nuts, but you can still perceive a little bit of fruitiness. So a really balanced cup of coffee, at least on the fragrance. Let's smell our Panama Typica ASD. More intense, of course, with a finer grind size. Nice fruitiness, not too tart on the grapes. It's really like those sweet grapes, those plums, because approaching the season of fall, autumn, or winter, we'll still have our summer coffee if you would like the burrata notes. But here it's a good way to appreciate those really nice structured balanced acidity. Let's taste our Honduras. What comes first here is those generous milk chocolates and caramelized nuts. And in the middle of the tongue, little apple sweetness comes in. Texture is heavy. It's really creamy, lingering finish of more caramelized nuts. So we have those milk chocolate, honey, middle of the tongue, little spike in fruitiness, but just apple. And then the finish is quite long. As I'm talking, I still can taste the coffee, those nice caramelized pecan almonds. Really beautiful, smooth cup of coffee. Let's try our Typica. Mm. Oh, wow. A very balanced plum and grapes. And so at first, you don't taste any chocolate and hazelnuts, which is our version of saying Nutella. You get the Nutella towards the end of the finish. And in the finish, there's no plums or grapes. You really have this really smooth Nutella finish. Mm. It's really a coffee that travels through your tongue, and you see as well with temperature. The texture is really generous, very syrupy. Mm. Here, both extended my overall roast time and decreased my development time. So we're still here under 9 minutes and a half, 9 minutes roast time, very small degree of end temperature to really preserve those residual sugar. Delicate balance, smooth sweetness of plums, a little bit of grapes for the little tartaric acidity, but it's really medium here on the acidity, and then a very nice smooth chocolate hazelnut finish. Let's come back when it's a little bit cold. There's definitely more sweet in flavor in washed coffee versus natural, and that's in general as well, because the fermentation creates a lot of flavors, right? Versus with washed, you can really have sort of a lot of nuanced flavor from hot to warm to cold. With natural process, we have slightly more consistency from hot to cold. With again those plums, just a little bit less cold, nice grapes, and super beautiful chocolate hazelnut that last a long time. Mm. And those are for me really good representation of how we source coffee and introduce them at different time of the year that match with the seasonality, because this is a perfect way to kind of ease yourself with those early cold morning with not so much brightness, but you can still bring out the brightness and the clarity in the cup with those different techniques. So remember that any method will work, but here I really wanted to emphasize the clarity of a beautiful coffee from Honduras with a V60 and create a very smooth experience and avoid getting too much funkiness out of a natural process with an Oria flat bottom brewer. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any question, please let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your coffee friend. If you're interested, feel free to grab one of those coffees. Those will be gone for our subscriber for the month of October and November. Thank you very much, and see you next time.